Have you ever stopped to consider that the reality we perceive around us might not be real at all, but rather a complex and sophisticated simulation? The simulation hypothesis is the idea that the universe we live in is nothing more than a computer simulation, created by an advanced civilization with technology beyond our imagination. The hypothesis is based on the assumption that a sufficiently advanced civilization would be able to create a simulation that is indistinguishable from reality. This simulation could be so advanced that the simulated beings inside it, including us, would be unaware that they are living in a simulation. This idea has been explored by numerous scientists and thinkers, including philosopher Nick Bostrom, who proposed the simulation argument in 2003. The simulation argument suggests that if a civilization is capable of creating a realistic simulation, then it is likely that they have already done so. If this is the case, then the probability of us living in a simulation is high. The simulation hypothesis is not just a scientific idea, but also a philosophical one. It raises questions about the nature of reality and the role of consciousness in the universe. Some philosophers argue that the simulation hypothesis suggests that the universe is not objective, but rather subjective, created by the minds of the simulated beings inside it. However, the simulation hypothesis is not without its critics. Some argue that the idea is too speculative and lacks empirical evidence. Others suggest that the hypothesis cannot be tested, making it impossible to prove or disprove. One of the fascinating aspects of the simulation theory is its connection to physics. Some physicists suggest that the laws of physics could be thought of as the code that runs the simulation, and that by studying the laws of physics, we could potentially uncover evidence of the simulation. There are even theories that suggest that the glitches in the system, just like in a video game, could be evidence of the simulation. For example, some physicists point to the odd behavior of particles in quantum mechanics as evidence that the universe might be a simulation. The weirdness of quantum mechanics suggests that reality is not what it seems. If the universe were a simulation, then the bizarre behavior of particles at the quantum level could be explained by the limitations of the simulation. However, not all physicists agree with this interpretation of quantum mechanics. Some argue that the strangeness of quantum mechanics can be explained by other factors, such as the limitations of our knowledge and technology. The simulation theory raises many questions about the nature of reality and our place in it. For example, if we are living in a simulation, what is the purpose of our existence? Is there a higher power controlling the simulation, or are we simply algorithms running in a computer program? Universe is a simulation. Then everything that happens within it would be predetermined by the code that runs the simulation. In this scenario, the concept of free will becomes meaningless, as our actions and choices are ultimately determined by the programming. Another interesting idea related to the simulation theory is the concept of the multiverse. If we accept the idea that it's possible to simulate a universe, it's not a stretch to imagine that there could be multiple simulations running simultaneously, each with its own set of physical laws and properties. The concept of the multiverse is actually a prediction of some of the leading theories in modern physics, such as string theory and the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics. These theories suggest that there could be an infinite number of parallel universes, each with its own unique set of physical laws and properties. So, if our universe is a simulation, could it be just one of many simulations running in some kind of cosmic computer? And if so, what does that say about the nature of reality? Another interesting idea related to the simulation theory is the concept of the glitch in the matrix. This refers to unusual or inexplicable events that seem to defy the laws of physics and could be interpreted as evidence of a glitch in the simulation. Of course, these events could also be explained by other means, but it's an intriguing idea nonetheless. While some scientists and philosophers are convinced that we are living in a computer program, others are skeptical and argue that there is no evidence to support the theory. One thing is for sure, though. The simulation theory has captured the imagination of many people and has led to some fascinating discussions and debates about the nature of reality. As we continue to ponder the mind-bending implications of the simulation theory, we're left to wonder, Are we simply players in someone else's game? Or could it be that the universe and all its wonders are nothing more than lines of code? The answers may elude us for now, but one thing is for certain. The more we explore, the more we realize how little we truly know about the vast and mysterious universe we call home.